So the major chord is very, very simple to understand. You don't have to go any farther than it's the dark part of the picture. So here, let me demonstrate now. And let's say the phthalo blue is quite strong. And I'm just going to put a shape. I'm not going to be too particular about what it looks like. And there it is. And because I'm using watercolors, I do like to add a little bit of water around it, just to soften the edge. Might as well take advantage of the medium. So there's my dark accent color. And you can see the white paper is a perfect foil for the lighter area. So if I was doing a major chord painting, I would continue with quite a bit of the dark. This one's going dark into the wet. I would take a little more, see how dark I can get. Reminds me a little bit of Kandinsky and Miro. They were a lively lot, very creative, very imaginative, and very much into color. Okay, so you see how the colors is a beautiful example how watercolors get lighter as they penetrate the paper and disappear into the paper. All the little fibers in the real watercolor paper are filled up with the pigment, and that's why watercolors get darker as they dry. They get lighter as they dry. That's getting a little too dark there, so I'm just going to add a drop of water to it. I don't like my watercolors to be pasty. It's not a good technique. Okay, there we go. Now, it's still going from dark to light, but it's still a minor down here. So what I want to do is get some more major color in. Remember, major means strong and dark, fully saturated. Minor, think of pastels. Now, I would say that we have successfully, see how that water just soaks up the color? We've successfully done a major interval or a major color. Are you seeing how much paint this is taking? Good paper likes paint. It sucks it right up. And I would just lighten around it. Adding my what you might call the minor chords. Now, this is monochromatic, so you can think better if in the idea of chords is that there are other colors or tones. So to complete this, I'm going to add a little more dark in spots. And I am thinking design here. This is the biggest, and I'm not just randomly putting them in. I have a little bit of a method here. I have 3 there, and I think I'll just do one swipe through here. There. So as I look at that, and I put a little frame around it, maybe get rid of the circle idea at the bottom, spread it out a little more, like that. and then contain it in a space such as this. In a very short time, I've done a major chord painting. Now, picture if you had added maybe one more color, or if you had used some neutrals with the pure color. Neutrals make colors sing, very simply. And let's take two opposite colors. Let's take some red. I'll use the alizarin. And let's take some blue. But it can't be blue, it has to be green. So add a little bit of there. Now I'm using matte board here, that's why the paint just sinks, I like that word, sinks right into the paper. So there's my two little balls, and this is how neutrals work. I used yellow and blue here. You know, you can think about this or you can read about it, and it won't make any sense to you until you actually understand the simplicity of three colors, red, yellow, and blue. With neutrals, if we mix these together, if we take some watercolor paper, got a little yellow on that one, I'm going to wet the paper so that it drifts together. There's a little rag there. So take just some pure water. There's a little yellow in it, but that's okay. That's not going to hurt it because it's part of the neutralizing. So take some red, put it right there. A good shot of that. Beautiful. Alizarin crimson. Look how it disperses. You know, you can actually do some great little paintings just practicing this color experience. Now that's the first color, the red. Now I need the green, but the best green to make is when you combine the two and mix them on the palette. Now we're going to use the dry here, but we're going to separate it by a little bit of space here, see? Dry paper, clean it off, always clean your brush. A little bit of the phthalo mixed into the yellow. And now we have a lovely green, but it's not quite dark enough. I'm going to go a little darker. There we go. So there's our green. Now if we take a brush and we make sure it's clean, or clean, sort of clean, and we put some water in between, just to soften the edges. I left it white here just because I like to leave a little white. Now I'm going to mix the three colors. Okay, here we are. So I'm going to take the alizarin and the blue and the yellow, and now we've mixed up what's called a neutral color. You might call it brown, but I can change the brown with a little more blue. You see? And when I'm doing a neutral color, I can make one of the three colors dominate. Like it could be a blue, it could have a blue hue to it, or a red hue, or a yellow hue, or any kind of hue I want, depending on how I balance it. So I'm going with the dark one here. Now I'm going to just experiment here. I'm going to put it near each color first. See? And I'm going to think a little design now. That little yellow part's great. I'm just going to cover that. Like that. Okay, so now I have two of these. Three would be better, don't you think? So let's put a little neutral right here. Just another little neutral section. 1, 2, 3. There's my big one, or we might call this the mama or the papa bear. It's the biggest. And now I'm thinking as I paint. I'm adding quite a big neutral area around the red. And I'm thinking I'd like a little more red in that neutral. So I add a little bit more of the red to it. And now I might want to drop a little more in. I think I need a little more red. Especially over here, because the red and the green. Now I'm thinking, oh, my original was the opposite color, red and green. So why not have a little bit of red peeking into the neutral here and there? But then I'm thinking, why not have a little bit of more green, so add more yellow to certain areas? See, it all becomes very, very, very intuitive after a while. When you learn some theory and you practice it, your intuition can take over, and now it's you painting with ease. You're actually having fun. Paint. Oh, look at this. That kind of echoes this big one. This lozenge here is echoed here. Thinking edges, hard edge. This edge here is a little strong, a little hard. So what I'll go is I'll sneak in here, soften the edge. Just bring it down a little bit. Now I wonder what would happen if I took this little edge right here and added just a little bit of the red, pure red. And what would happen? It's going to mix with the neutral. Now I'm going to think major chord. This is a minor chord painting. There's a little bit major there. There's a little hint, but it's still a major chord with a lot of minor tones in it. So I'm going to darken up a little by making the green and adding a little bit of the alizarin. I'm not too worried about the paints getting dirty now because I'm working in the neutrals. And I'm thinking right here, this will create a dark, because there's my lightest area. Oh, yeah, that's nice. And now I have this little baby bear over here. And I got a mama bear or a papa bear. And you know what? Here's a very good design rule. It's actually the psychology of color. The heavy part or darker part or major chord should be at the bottom because our eyes read from heavy to light, up from the bottom up. If you look at something this way, it doesn't quite read as well because the heavy part's up here. That's what my feeling is. Ooh, I can see another one. But sometimes turning it upside down will give you a few little hints of what to do. Oh, you know what? And now I'm getting some really good stuff coming in. Lots of words, lots of words. The word orange is coming. Orange, why orange? Because we're doing a lot of oranges. But also, to me, this needs warming up. And the best way to warm it is a little bit of alizarin and this little cadmium yellow medium on the side here, I've noticed. It's still a little bit dirty, but not too much. I hope it works. And let's just see what happens there. Now that's called a color note. I call it a color note, simply because it just sticks out. I'm thinking one, orange, look at the nice, beautiful little color things going on here. Should I put another one over here? Oh, thinking cool and warm. You know what? Opposites are coming in. See, here's a little bit of phthalo, pure phthalo, and orange and blue. So I'm into this neutral, which is still a little wet probably. I'm going to drop a little bit of blue, but it's going to be a little smaller than this one. It's starting to bleed. Should I touch it? Never. Leave it. Should I put another one in? No, I don't think so. Should I make this one bigger? It's drying. Does this look like a shoe? Yes, but only to me. So there we go. See what that looks like under a little frame or even against black. I don't know if you know it, but black makes colors vibrant. More than any other color, black works. Really, really liking what this is like, if that's the right term. So this frame doesn't quite fit, or maybe this way. Oh yeah. Oh, my boot's gone. Look at that. I mean, honestly, what you think leads to what you paint. And don't ever doubt it. An empty mind will produce an empty painting.